This is Modified Ninja, and today we're taking a look at the first edition Optimus Prime. I got him. I was very happy with him. The only thing that I don't like are the shins. The shins have a tendency to not really want to tab in like they should. As you can see, I mean, if you guys have first edition Optimus, you know the problem here. Another thing that I found is whenever you use the ankle tilt on Optimus, let's see if we can get this in frame. Whenever you use the ankle tilt on Optimus, he actually untabs because part of the ankle tilt hinge knocks against the base plate and pushes it away. So watch. See that? So what I fixed was his hinge. Well, not specifically his hinge. I just basically took this. Come on, focus. And Rocket is on my foot right now. Okay. I took this down, that way it doesn't knock against the base plate. I put a magnet right in here. Let's see if this works. Put a magnet right there, and I also put a magnet where that magnet would hit, approximately right here. It helps solidify it quite a bit. This is the regular one. I already modified the left leg to see if it would work. It did. It holds it on a lot better. I used a rare earth magnet, as you can see right here. The tricky part was gluing this into place, and after I did that, and what you hear is Rocket running around, the other magnet's underneath this part of the plastic. Whenever I opened the leg up, I found out that since this underlays the top part, I had to cut away using my Dremel. That way the magnet would actually not interfere with this part coming back together. And here is where I shaved down the nub off the hinge so it stops hitting the base plate. I'll show you guys how to do this. This is just a strictly informational video. If you guys damage your toy or hurt yourselves, don't hold me liable. I'm just showing you what I did. Now with that said, let's get to modifying his other leg. Alright, after you take apart his leg, this is what you'll end up with. This is the completed leg. I'll show you guys how to take it apart. Here's the magnet on this side. The pin, as you can see, is still in. You don't need to remove the pin to get his leg off. And the other magnet is right... Focus. Is right here. As you can see on this, the magnet's here. I had to cut away this part of the inner part of his leg, the part that goes under the outer part, because it underlays. And with cutting that apart, you can't see it once his legs are together, but it gives you clearance to go around the magnet. Also, it'll help you with clearance if you take off his foot, which is right here. Here's his foot. It'll help you be able to get in here with glue, and it'll let you cut away at this part without actually risking damaging the other part of the leg with an X-Acto or Dremel, whatever you choose to use. Alright, let's go ahead and take the other leg apart. You need your screwdriver. There's a screw here, and then of course the screw holding the foot on. Alright, that's all apart. Now it's time to actually take the leg apart. Okay, you guys see how it's bending just enough to loosen up. Once you get it loosened, you just want to be careful not to stress the plastic. You just need enough leeway to actually get it to come outside of that. So now that's freed up. You can just wiggle, 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 wiggle until it comes off. There we go. Okay, now Prime is legless, but he'll be much happier once this is all done. Okay, as you can see, the pin's still in. I didn't actually have to remove it. The pin is on these are kind of hard to get out. I've tried. You can't push it through the other side because it's wedged in there. So you can typically, at least on mine, loosen it up enough just to move it out of the way so you can pull the leg off. Now let's see what we're working with. Okay, this is where we're going to put the magnet, and it looks like it won't interfere. Yeah. The nice thing about this side is it won't interfere. It'll actually just give you enough clearance to close it and you won't be able to see. So, let's get to work. Need our magnets. I went to Radio Shack for $3. You can get the 3/16 inch rare earth magnets. There's 3 here. I did use 3 on the other one. There's 1 here, and there's actually 2 right. Oh, I'm dropping everything. There's 2 right inside. So we'll get to work. So what you want to do here is put your glue in. Try not to slop too much, but you want enough to keep it in place. This bottom part, you don't need to worry about too much about holding it in too hard, because it's not actually being pulled away from its base. This, on the other hand, will want to pull away from its base, so you got to make sure this is in really nice. Let's put a little dab of glue there. Put my magnet on. That'll be enough to hold it. If you want a little bit more secure, just dab a little bit on so it's touching the rest of the plastics. There. Okay, while that's drying, we'll work on the other side. Now, this is kind of a tricky part. What you want to do is you want to make sure you get this in the right place, so it's actually on top of each other as close to center as you can get, because if they're off, you're not going to have the magnetic properties be as strong. So you can do this, just make sure you don't slide off the first bit that's already glued, because then you'll just have a mess. You'll have glued magnets. You don't want that yet. Alright, that's where I wanted to end up. It's actually rubbing against this, so I'll glue it to this part first. I can't just put glue in there like that, because I'd run the risk of gluing this part to this part, and then I'd never be able to transform them. So let's get started with this. Okay, the best way I found to get the magnet in here, I had to do it off camera. It was stressing me out. I needed a much closer view of it. Basically, you want to put a little dab of glue right here on this one, on the inside where the magnet's going to sit. Put a little dab of glue there. Use your fingers to get the magnet setting on it. Then use a toothpick or two to maneuver it around enough. You don't want to use too much glue to begin with, because you're just going to make a mess. And you don't want glue inside where the tabs go, here and here. So once I got the glue on, the magnet seated, use my toothpick to maneuver this around to where it stays flush, mostly flush with the top of the tabs, because this plate sits flush against the base plate. So I want the magnet as close to this base plate as I can without it pushing this plate off. So I've got it about where I want it. So this is probably the most time-consuming part, trying to get this exactly where you want it. On this right leg, it seems like just about centered between these two. Not touching this and not touching either one of those though. It's barely touching the bottom of this one because it's angled. That seems about where you want to put it. Just like that. So now I'm going to add more glue. And if you listen closely, you can hear Rocket running around in the background. I like to leave him cooped up in his cage during the day as much as I can. He likes to be out with the cat and the dog. Drop a little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. You don't want to get too much glue on the face of the magnet, because you want to keep that thing as clean as you can so you have as much contact as you possibly can get with the other magnet, because you're already dealing with the plastic on the base plate between the two. So as you can see, I put glue on all the 4 points. I'm basically building a support system for the magnet so it doesn't just get sucked off of the Shin piece whenever it touches the base plate for robot mode. And this will take you a while. You don't want to put on too much glue, because if you glob it all in there, it's going to take forever to dry. Just do a little bit at a time. Make sure that your magnet stays where you want it. Mine's kind of trying to travel backward at the top here. So just bring it forward a little bit. It still seems pretty flush. So we're going to sit and watch glue dry. This is the most entertaining part of it. Don't really forget it. You want to keep checking on it until it's all the way dry. Once it's dry, you do it again. And once that's dry, you do it again, until you form enough of a base. Until you form enough of a base, this is the one that's done, to hold it on. As you can see, it's touching all 4 points inside there with the glue, and it's dried. So this is the done leg. We're going to let it dry and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. And it looks like the glue has dried. I've got enough glue in there for me to be comfortable with that it'll last for a while. If not, I can always re-glue it. Just showing you how much I used. Just enough for it to be touching all 4 posts. And let's check that out. Let's see how lined up it is. And it's nice and clicky. Seems like it'll hold pretty good. Time to reinstall the right leg. Just the reverse of what we did earlier. Make sure that nub on the back of his legs toward the back. Slide it on. Make sure you slide it on all the way. Bring this part around. It locks in. Put the bolts in, or the screws. Okay. Now, we are ready to test fit the foot. Make sure the red part's facing toward the back. Put it on there, and if it nudges this part out, yep, it nudges it out. So I know I need to shave some more off. You'll be able to see for yourself where it rubs. Just need to take a little bit more off. Not much, just a little bit. Just a very tiny little bit. Pop this back off. Remember guys, if you're going to use an X-Acto knife, be very careful. If you're a child, I wouldn't recommend doing this mod. Have your parents or someone do it. Okay, go ahead and test fit this before we screw it back on. And no more rub. Okay. Put the screw back in. Okay, let's check them out. Seems like he's getting held up somewhere. All right. Okay, I believe he's all done. Should now be able to wiggle the foot around with. That one works better than this one. Also go back on this one. Maybe some glue got between the tabs and the peg hole, or the tab holes slots. I have to do a little bit more modification, but that's basically what you do. This one was the first one I did. Holds on very good and tight. I just have to work on this one a little bit better. Hello guys, we're back. I just got done with the first edition Optimus Prime modification. The end result wasn't as good as I wanted, with only the magnets in place. What I did was I added a small piece of metal. Just a small little thin piece of metal. It can't be aluminum because magnets, of course, won't stick to aluminum. But just a little tiny piece of metal. It's above the first magnet that's inside the leg, and it's in place so the top magnet will hit it. Kind of sandwiches. It actually helps keep it a lot tighter than it was in the first place with that metal being able to hit the magnet instead of the magnet touching plastic. It makes it more solid. I'm a lot more happy with the results, and you guys can probably see it. It's just snapped to it. So it's in there. You can actually pose the foot now as much as you want without worrying about that coming off. So I would say that the modification was a success. You can hold all kinds of poses. and he doesn't want to come apart at the foot. Foot stays closed. It's very sturdy. I'm gonna get this guy transformed to truck mode, and we'll take a look at what the modification looks like in truck mode. Okay, he's now in truck mode. I'll let you guys take a look at what the modification looks like afterward, the end result. I think it's a pretty clean modification myself. You can make it cleaner by putting a light coat of paint over the magnets if you so choose, but there's already screws showing, so it doesn't look like it's really bothering me that much. My magnets, as you can see, they're a little, well, actually they're pretty straight. Not too bad. And the metal plates I think it kind of overall helps the look of the truck with the hitch right there. Looks like a skids for the hitch or something. So, plus you can't see it in bot mode, so, and I'm knocking the camera around. I apologize. Okay, but that's what it looks like. I'm pleased. And that's just how modifications go sometimes. You'll get halfway done and you'll realize something else needs to be done, so you gotta go back to the drawing board. The important thing to do is not to give up whenever you are doing your modifications. Just keep trying. There's always a solution for any kind of problem. Okay guys, one final thought on the modification. You can actually do a cleaner install by drilling a hole the exact size of the magnet. I believe it was 3/16. But whatever magnet you use, you're gonna have to drill the exact size of the magnet into the leg. You just gotta be sure of where you want to drill it. That way you don't mess up and have a hole in your leg for no reason. But drill a hole, and then you can probably glue around the backside of it to hold it in, and maybe even around the edges of the magnet, just to kind of give it extra hold. But that might actually make it stronger, because you're not dealing with plastic in between the magnet. You're just magnet to magnet, and that's actually a lot stronger. But I didn't have the option to, because that's the way modifications go. Sometimes you get too far along and you have a better idea. And since this guy's so hard to come by, I'm not going to undo what I just did. It holds fine, but that's just a alternate option for modification. Also, my buddy Caked Up, he's actually going to try this, but instead of just holding the magnets in place as you glue and do it slowly, he's going to get an exact size screw to use as a base for the magnet, and it makes it a little bit less of a process of just trying to get the magnet to stay in the right place. It makes it a little stronger, but I did that. It was easy. I didn't have to go get any kind of screws. It just took time. This is Modified Ninja. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your own modification. Please subscribe and comment below. Thank you.